Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. Meow. My name is Tonia, and today we are talking about the Virgo new moon. Oh, can I get an amen? On the 17th of September, happening approximately 8:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this is for Capricorns though, so this is your forecast, Caps. If you are a Capricorn ascendant, sun, and moon, I'm just like holla, 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 because the Capricorns are being activated with major blessings. Mark my words, the fact that this is in your 9th house alone is highly auspicious, okay, Capricorns? And if you are a Capricorn ascendant, sun, or moon, then you darn well know that we have been going through it for the last years, not even years, because Saturn has been all up in there, everything has been going on. This is a special request video because I'm doing them only by special request these days for the new and full moons. This is for Trinetti, my beautiful, amazing sister who requested this, and also anybody else who's a Capricorn, ascendant, sun, and moon. So I hope that this brings you value. Before I jump on into all of that and what you can expect, Cap, how to make the most of it, etc., etc., quick announcements for you. Number one, if you are not subscribed yet, please do join us because I put out a video every single day of the week. I put a lot of time and energy and grind into that, so be here for it because I am here for you. Number two, like the vid if it brings you any value because it just helps the channel grow, and that's what's up. Refer a friend if you're like, you know, feeling it. Last but not least, if you want to learn astrology for yourself, my hair is going crazy. If you want to learn astrology for yourself, I'm teaching a course, which I am beyond excited to do. That begins November 1st. The registration deadline is All Hallows Eve because we're just so witchy like that. And for real, if you want to learn the ancient way and also some of the modern way and just basically different perspectives of astrology, but have that toolkit, Capricorn, you are not a sign that likes to surrender your power over to other people, generally speaking. So if you're looking to grow your own capacity to actually understand astrology and be able to read natal charts, this is the program for you. The details for that down below. That was the announcement. Now we're jumping into your forecast, Capricorn. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you throughout some of this because we're going to like check out what's going on. But before I do get into that, I'm just going to pull up that chart and explain more of the significance for you, Cap, as to how this is a big deal in relationship to your particular 9th house. So whenever you have a new moon in the 9th house, that's going to be significant for a few reasons. The 9th house is what's called a beneficial house, basically. If you think about it, the 9th house is the place of joy and happiness in astrology, okay? So if you think about what that actually means, it's the 9th house being a time of deep inner reflection and wisdom, but the joy that comes of that. The 9th house is the joy of Jupiter house. So it's going to be a place where you're actually feeling inspired through joy and wisdom and higher knowledge. And it's considered to be the house of true joy, along with perhaps the 11th house. But the ancients looked at it, and if you have prominent placements, say, in the 9th house, and say it's like benefics that are like well aspected, that's considered a deep, rich benefit and source of wisdom and a really good omen, or they call it a yoga in Vedic astrology, okay? So there's that for your consideration. And, you know, along with that, the 9th house is going to be a place where you're going to find that you have deeper reflections around your higher belief system. So if you're a Capricorn out there, like what's going on under this energy, then basically you're going to be reflecting, Capricorn, on things that bring you true joy, things that bring you higher philosophical value and wisdom. This is also a position when we have a new moon there that allows for a new beginning to establish around those themes for yourself. It's also associated to the house of the 9th house, that is. It's associated with higher knowledge, I mentioned earlier, but that's also academia in the ancient astrology understanding of things. So if you happen to be a Capricorn out there who is going to school or thinking of going to school, or you're basically, you know, looking to invest in your skill set and your own wisdom and your own knowledge banks in some way, shape, or form, then this is going to be a powerful time for you, Capricorn, to not only set the intentions, but do what you do best and put some concrete things into action. Now, I want to make sure that I mention this because there's a huge caveat with what I just said. Do not fall victim to Mars retrograde, y'all. I'm for real, because Mars retrograde is happening right now, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat or ignore that in this advice that I'm giving you. Mars retrograde is going to be retrograde for like several more weeks yet. We're something like 2 weeks, not even into this, I think. It's about 6 more weeks before we're even like really remotely on the other side of this energy. So if you are going to put something into action under this new moon, Cap, be sure that it's something that you were already thinking about for a long time prior. And if it wasn't something you were thinking about, not necessarily a long time prior, but say you were thinking about at least for 3 weeks prior to this. Because if you weren't thinking about it up to like 3 weeks or before this moment in time of this new moon, then it's probably not a very good time to initiate things. But if it is something that's been in your mind, been in your intention space for like a longer time, you know, than that 3-week threshold, this is a fantastic time to initiate. And the reason that I'm guiding you towards this is because Mars is retrograde. If you haven't already seen my video on that, I'm not going to spend a long time talking about it here, but it is relevant for you as a Capricorn because you're a hustler, baby, and you need to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? But before we jump into, you know, any more details on the Mars action, let's just look at that new moon. So you should see it on your screen now. And basically, it's at 25 degrees Virgo. So if you are a Capricorn, you know, in the later degrees of Cap, you're going to be feeling this especially. Also, you're feeling a lot if you are in the later degrees of Capricorn. Like, let's be real, because look, you got Pluto and Saturn on top of you, dude. It's like really intense. I'm not even trying to lie. But seeing as this is in your 9th house, this lunation from Capricorn, if we count this way, which is the way the wheel works, right? Then, you know, we land on the 9th house here in Virgo. That's significant, and that's a great reprieve, and that's why I'm so excited. And not only that, but look at the positive aspects it's sending to you, the planets in your sign right now that are transiting your sign. So we have Jupiter down here, we have Pluto, we have Saturn. Those are hard planets, except Jupiter. Jupiter's a great planet, but it's in like not good dignity here. You know, it's like not really healthy as Jupiter wants to be. So there's that challenge. But the moon itself is making all positive aspects to these so-called malefic planets of Pluto and Saturn. And you know, those planets are retrograde right now, y'all. So there's extra energy around Pluto and Saturn and things. This is like Kalima energy, death and rebirth energy. This is the collapse and redefinition and reconstruction of society as we know it. That's literally what this energy means in the sign of Capricorn. Astrologers, including myself, have been talking about this for years leading up to this event. So the point being, the good energy is coming from this new moon from your 9th house. So your belief in society's reconstruction, for example, it might be a good time to do some work around healing that relationship, Capricorn. Caps, we're ruled by Saturn. I understand. We're very serious people. Okay, we have melancholy oftentimes. We are depressed oftentimes. We deal with the stuff that other people just ignore. And we have a lot in similar, you know, interests and so forth and awareness in common with Scorpio because of this. But as a Capricorn, you're aware of the isolation and the loneliness that can come from this sort of deeper reflection on the darker matters of life. Capricorn, fun fact, rules darker matters, and people for that matter. Dark-skinned people are associated with Saturn and the sign of Capricorn. Now, with that said, though, all of this like heavier energy, Capricorn is a very wise sign because Pisces is on its 3rd house cusp. There's many reasons why Capricorn is a very wise sign. Saturn is also its ruler, of course. That's going to give you some wisdom, right? But this is a reprieve. I see this new moon as a reprieve from all of this serious Saturn energy that we carry with us all the time as Capricorn energy beings, and also a reprieve from these hella intense planets of Pluto and Saturn that's been transiting our sign down here for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Darn near. So we're going to get a break. I think Capricorn energy people are going to get a break because all this beautiful trine energy being sent from the moon itself. It's check it out, rewind, like a moon and a sun together is a new beginning. It's the divine mother and father of the universe, of the entire universe coming together to create something new. We get that, right? Put that on a shelf. Now, that new beginning for you is in your 9th house of higher beliefs, higher joy, true wisdom, okay, true higher knowledge, 9th house. And it's in positive aspect, trine, to the planets which are kicking our asses and reconstructing us and making us go through metamorphosis, Pluto and Saturn. It's in a beautiful trine, and it's almost to the degree, 25 degrees. is this new moon, to 25 degrees. That's to the degree Saturn in Capricorn. This is a blessing for Capricorns. There's a reason I was so hyped at the beginning. Now, with that said, outside of new beginnings and all of that, what else is going on for you, Capricorn? Your 10th house is where Mercury currently is. Interestingly enough, conjunct the part of fortune at the time of this new moon. And by this chart standards, you know, this isn't quite exact. I have 25 degrees and 52 minutes on the moon and 25 degrees 4 minutes on the sun, but it's darn near exact. We can call this like an 8:22 a.m. new moon, and it's accurate, right? But with that said, at the time of this, the ascendant is conjunct the Mercury and the part of fortune. So this is very fortunate. You take the ascendant out of it if the time changes dramatically, you know, and say the ascendant sign becomes Virgo in some way or whatever. It's going to be important that the part of fortune and Mercury are conjunct here, because that implies your skills, Mercury, Capricorn, okay, your skills, because this is in your 10th house of career and what you're building in the world. Very Capricorn concerns. Those skills and those thoughts, those energy thoughts that exist in our heads, and those statements and those words and those concepts, that's all Mercury, related to your work, related to your career, and not just work like day-to-day work, but Capricorns, we understand work is a long-term view. It's a 10th house thing, not so much a 6th house thing, right? So your 10th house, your legacy, your career versus like your menial everyday 6th house stuff. The 10th house is what's activated right now with Mercury. Your skill in your career, your skill in your legacy building. You're thinking about things right now that will have a meaningful impact over time if you choose to act on them. And this whole lunation could just be a mental reset. Like earlier I said, do not initiate things unless you already have been thinking about it for 3 weeks prior. And I stand by that. However, if you get new genius ideas for how to change your life, bring yourself into more harmony with your truth, your wisdom, your joy, your long-term vision for your happiness in this life, your long-term vision for what being wise is to you and means to you, Capricorn, if you get those downloads under this new moon, it is divinely blessed. And, you know, it's going to require hard work. Yeah, you're ruled by Saturn. No shit. You know what I'm saying? But why do I know that? Because Mercury, the idea planet, the messenger, the divine messenger, Hermes or Thoth, he's here in the 10th house. And he's saying, you have to do what I'm asking you to do if you want this result. And why is it hard work, though? Because it's squaring those very planets that were blessed or are being blessed by the new moon itself. Look how Mercury in the chart right now, you can see the red lines. Mercury's at 17 degrees and it's squaring exactly Jupiter at 17 degrees. When you see exact degree conversations in astrology, it is not a joke. It is not a mistake. So this is an exact degree. I just got goosebumps saying that, you know, like this is an exact degree manifestation lunation on multiple levels, because 25 degrees to 25 degrees. We already saw this with Saturn and the sun and the moon together. And now we have a 17 degree with Mercury and Jupiter. So it's exact. It's telling you pay attention. If you're an astrologer looking at this, that's the message. Pay attention. Okay, so Mercury's squaring that Jupiter and it's telling you, look, for the happiness, for the joy. That's what Jupiter rules. Jupiter is associated with the 9th house. Remember I said that. It's associated there. With that said, you know, Mercury is squaring Jupiter, and it's saying in order to get that happiness, in order to get that wisdom, in order to get that joy, that true joy, that's going to bring you fulfillment, Capricorn, where you will be able to sit back on your rocking chair, sipping whatever type of drink, lemonade, beer, whatever you enjoy, Cap, token on whatever you enjoy, if you enjoy that, whatever. You're going to be feeling good about yourself at the end of the day, accomplished. Like you can just sit into that and just be who you are and relax within that and be grateful with what you've grounded yourself into and grown like the mighty tree that is Capricorn, you know? In order for that to happen in the coming times, you need to put in the work around making these thoughts, making these ideas, making these communication concepts, Mercury, tangible. And why am I saying that? Because Mercury squaring Jupiter, it's telling you in order for the joy, bring the idea into fruition. Why am I saying fruition? Because it's a 90-degree angle. You see how it's a square on your screen right now? 90-degree angle in ancient astrology, we understand, is the manifestation angle. So if it is a 90-degree angle, that's how you manifest in the tangible third dimensional reality of this world, period. Ancient Egyptians wrote about this in their hieroglyphs on their walls of their pyramids. I say it in a lot of videos. If you haven't heard it yet, now you know. but it's manifestation. And, you know, in order for that to happen, you do have to put in that Capricorn grind. Like, no surprise, but it's literally in the chart. I'm trying to show you how this is a real opportunity for you to gain what it is that you are gonna be rewarded by. And I'm not trying to say this is about to happen overnight for you, Cap, because Saturn is at play here. Mercury is also squaring Saturn, you know, not by like the exact degree. You won't see a red line on your screen connecting them. Right now you see red lines connecting Jupiter and Pluto with Mercury, because Mercury's at 17 degrees, but by sign, Saturn is still activated. You know what I'm saying? It might be out of that 3-degree or whatever orb, or 5-degree orb, but it's still by sign in effect. And whenever you're a Capricorn, you're going to do things a little slower than other people anyway, but guess what? You build something that has more longevity to it, generally speaking. You build something that has a stronger foundation to it, generally speaking. So, you know, it's not going to be necessarily an overnight thing, Cap. A lot of other things in the chart can help influence you in determining that, but we are in Mars in retrograde season. I go back to that. Let's look at that. You know, and it's at the tail end of Aries right now. If you have more than one planet in Capricorn or any other cardinal sign, you're just feeling lit up like a damn Christmas tree. It ain't even like a blessed Christmas tree right now. It's like some stressful fire. You're in the fire of the spirit of the great force that is, you know, the divine. There's a lot of cardinal activation right now, and everybody's coming out to play in these signs. Like, you look at the power players involved, you know. But I digress on that, and the point being, Mars is square that Pluto-Saturn conjunction still at the time of this lunation. That's another reason I know it's going to take a lot of grind. And Mars is squaring from your 4th house, Caps. So home, your roots, okay? I know for some Capricorns watching this, that's going to resonate. But for your home environment, where you were from, that's the 4th house. It's not just like home now. It is home now in astrology. The 4th house is, you know, your home environment, yes, and where you like really feel like you can relax and be safe, but it's where you're the most private as well. So in your most private of thoughts, you can take this geography, this geographical reference of home in a more evolved or bigger kind of minded way, and say, well, where I'm most private with my thoughts could also be a 4th house association in a certain regard. Granted, other astrologers would more readily associate that with the 12th house, and even like, you know, the 8th house. But with that said, you know, the 4th house is the most private place in terms of a place, in terms of a construct, you know what I'm saying? So your roots, your lineage, your heritage, things of your past, things of your DNA, things of your ancestry, things of people at home who are of home and defining of home, like a mother, a father, a grandparent, a sibling, a long-term partner. All of these things are 4th house. And that is coming into tension and severance, because it's a square. It's a square, and that's a manifesting degree, and it's in severance with something related to you. It could be your identity. It could be you and a partner splitting, you know, because why? Because the planets of severance, there's like 4 planets that you could actually associate at the end of the day with severance. I don't care what anybody says. Number 1, everybody will agree with me, it's Mars. Number 2, everybody will agree with me, is Uranus. Number 3, everybody will agree with me, is Saturn. And number 4, the people who will understand the notions of Pluto will also agree with me, Pluto. The 4 freaking planets out of the 4 planets associated with severance in astrology, okay, 3 of them are in square together. Look, Pluto, boom, 22 degrees. Saturn, boom, 25 degrees. Boom, over here. Aries. Mars in Aries. Mind you, Saturn is in its own sign. Aries is in its own sign. That means what? That both of these planets are real strong now. Sugar pie, honey bun. Real strong. Why? Because they're in their own freaking sign. They have milieu. They're in their milieu. They're in their home. They're in where they belong, where they rule, their kingdoms, you know? And therefore, in a square, this is a powerful square. If Mars was in, I don't know, Taurus, and it was squaring Saturn in, I don't know, Leo, this would be a different conversation that we're having. But we are having a serious conversation about the need for severance, the occurrence of severance, whatever. This is what I'm going to put together for you, like a puzzle piece. You ready for this? Whatever this true joy thing is for you, Capricorn, that you know you need to build in the coming times, that you're gaining awareness on under this new moon, whatever that is for you, I think it's going to require severance from something that you've deeply identified with in this lifetime. Why do I say that? Because Mars is in that 4th house, and that's where you feel most familiar, most rooted, okay? And it's squaring you, Saturn, in your sign of Capricorn, and Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. So you're having this transformation, and it's from a place of ego loss. And a lot of Capricorns out there have been feeling ego loss or ego transformation over the last 3 years, okay? Seriously, because of Saturn's influences. So if you're coming out of the chrysalis, Capricorn, congratulations. Let me be one of the first to congratulate you. You are probably, realistically speaking, this is a marathon. We Capricorn people understand that, okay? You are coming out of a critical point in this marathon. You are coming out of a chrysalis right now in this marathon of metamorphoses, you know, and like you are making headway and advancing is how I read this energy. And you're not free of hard work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or lie to you. It's not free of hard work. It's not free of diligence. It's not free of severance and reconstruction of your identity, especially if it's the sun in Capricorn. Okay. But it is for you to have. That transformation is for you to have. It's on offer to you under this new moon. What's going to work well under this new moon? Concrete, tangible actions, putting plans from previous ideas that are at least 3 weeks old into action. That's going to work really well under this energy. Another thing that's going to work well under this energy is brain mapping what your next steps are. Capricorns tend to be really both gifted and inclined towards making an action plan that has accomplishable steps and goals and earmarks or points of like measuring the progress. You as a Capricorn, this is a great new moon energy for the next 2 weeks. Okay, please take advantage under this waxing moon for the next 2 weeks and do some of that brain mapping for yourself, for your true joy, Capricorn. Mark out what your true joy means to you. Now, I would be remiss to not mention just some of these other interesting things. Uranus, I did say, is the planet of severance as well. You know, there's one of what I identify as 4 planets of severance in astrology, because they all, any good astrologer will understand that what I'm saying. They all can bring severance, these planets. But, you know, Uranus is squaring, it's trining Jupiter at 17 degrees of Capricorn, which is gorgeous, and it's squaring Venus. So the 2 benefics are being activated with this contradictory Uranian influence. The economy can both be really hurt right now, obviously, right? No shit. But it can also be our philosophies, our philosophical belief systems as a society can be evolving from higher forces. Why do I say that? Jupiter and Uranus are the 2 planets most primarily associated with angelic guide beings. I would say Neptune is actually tied for that, but Uranus and Jupiter are definitely higher angelic beings, light forms, ETs. If you think I'm crazy, this channeling for you, you know what I'm saying? But like Uranus and Jupiter are definitely angels and guides and beings of light and love that are with us to help us. They're spirit guide planets, y'all. Gods. These are gods that we're talking about. They're representations of spirit guides and those that are, you know, to help us. Higher forces, you know, benevolent forces. Those 2 gods, Uranus and Jupiter, are in beautiful harmonious communication under this new moon. And it's, yeah, 7-degree orb. Who cares? They're paying attention to each other. They're having a conversation. And so higher advancements around our collective belief systems and philosophies as a society are advancing. Truth is coming out for the next 2 weeks. And this is going to be in terms of you, Capricorn. It's going to be related to your enjoyment of yourself and your enjoyment, because it's activating Capricorn, 1st house and 5th house, your passion projects, your joy projects. And that's going to be basically, you know, activating a lot of new project energy. It's echoing every single thing. It's backing up through astrology everything I just said, which was already backed up in astrology. You know what I'm saying, Cap? Because you know, it's like your 5th house and your 1st house. That's you, 1st house, and your passion projects or your children, 5th house. Your kids, if you have kids, are telling you the truth right now. Pay attention. If you have kids, Pay attention to the uncomfortable truths that come out of your kids' mouths. Why are they uncomfortable? They're going to help support your belief system in some way. They might not necessarily be in direct harmony with your belief system, but they're going to strengthen and support your belief system because there's this beautiful trine here and it's in earth signs, but they're squaring Venus. Uranus from the 5th house is squaring Venus, which is in your 8th house, which is painful, deeper truths that you don't want to deal with. You don't want to go there. 8th house, Venus. It's also kind of hidden. So if your kids are bringing up some stuff that is like triggering you in a big way, make sure you stop, check yourself at the door of responding to that child and think about how is this triggering my deep subconscious patterns and habits and subconscious suitcases and luggage that I've just thrown in the back of my subconscious and not dealt with. Pay attention to that, please, Capricorn. If you have children right now, they're trying to tell you the truth and you need to listen. I haven't heard any astrologer say that, but it's the real freaking deal, interpreting this chart. Also, it's squaring Venus, so ultimately it's going to benefit you and bring you reward. Anytime a benefic squares something, there's always something of award to have, and it might catch you off guard, what they say, and it might be really like, whoa, where did that come from? Uranus rules sudden events, lightning, So just be aware. Just be aware of that, Cap. If it's not a children-specific situation, it's your projects, your small business endeavors, because the 5th house is the house of creations and therefore is associated with artists, and that's all the sacral chakra, all that beautiful orange chakra energy. But Capricorn, I think you're being stimulated to really manifest some good stuff. I think looking at this, just some of kind of the summarizing views is that I think you're being given the roadmap, the map of the heavens right now. It's like you're the captain of your own ship, Capricorn. This is the best damn metaphor. I'm glad Spirit gave it to me. You're the captain of your own ship right now. And the universe through the celestial heavens is, I'm getting goosebumps again. That's my major confirmation. This is like some download stuff. The heavens and the universe right now are giving you the blueprint to navigate that ocean that we are in. You as a Capricorn in particular have a unique opportunity with this 9th house new moon and the other planetary conversations involved. The fact that Mercury is really strong and badass in the sign of Libra and it's in your 10th house. You have a big opportunity right now, for all the reasons I've been talking about, to navigate those waters of your life towards your ultimate end goal happiness, towards your ultimate spiritual purpose in the world. 9th house, spiritual purpose. You have a deep insight. I'm excited for us, Caps, because this is a powerful energy. I think a lot of Capricorns out there are going through that metamorphosis, and I know you've been feeling it, but listen, you're in some process of accomplishing something right now, and that accomplishment might not be in the tangible dimensions yet, but everything that is tangible starts mental. Einstein proved thought is energy, and guess what? It takes a thought for something to corporealize. You feel? That's some wisdom drop, y'all. That's some wisdom drop right there. So pay attention to the opportunities that come knocking at your door. Pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come knocking at your door. The siblings, the messages from siblings about your career. If you have siblings and you're a Capricorn and they have some wise advice for you or some interesting idea for you on how you can collaborate with somebody else for your career under this new moon, pay the freak attention, because that's going to be meaningful. Also friends, it could be friends, Mercury's friends. So pay attention to that. It's going to serve you to pay attention to that. Okay? Okay. Now with that said, I think I'm going to wrap this up, and I feel really good about where things are heading for you, Cap, and make sure before you go that you subscribe if you're not already, you like the video, brought you any value whatsoever, and hit me up if you want a reading or to join our astrology cohort. The first step is a Calendly meeting with me. We basically interview each other and make sure that it's a good fit and take it from there. So with that said, my friend, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.